Hey, it's Lindsay with the Glitter Sticks. If you want to see how I made this super cute pair of earrings and matching keychain, just keep watching. I'm starting with this faux leather that I got off Amazon. I'll be sure to link it in the description box below. My plan is to use some HTV to back the vinyl there because it's got this weird texture to it. I don't like it. This is my black HTV that I'll be using. This matte side is where the adhesive is that gets ironed on. I'm starting with my HTV here. I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm just going to use this faux leather to measure out how much I need of the HTV. I have some excess here, and I'm going to cut that off as well so then I can use it to back the black faux leather. I know that I'll be using this black faux leather, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the excess of the remnant so then it makes it easier for me to add the HTV to the back of it. Okay, so I'm ready to iron. I've got my two pieces together. The matte side is down and the glossy side is up. I'm using parchment paper to sandwich the two pieces together and then just use it as a heat protectant, basically. I'm just making sure that the black HTV covers the entire piece of leather so that I know that it's all covered. I'm using a mini press and I have it set at 330 degrees. I'm using pretty light pressure, starting at the top, and then I'm going to work my way down, just using light pressure because I don't want to melt that faux leather underneath, but I do want the HTV to be attached. I'm gonna peel the clear protective layer off of this once it's cold. I just wanted to check to make sure that the leather looks okay. There's like this thick, heavy, clear protective layer when you go to iron it on, and then you just peel it straight off. After I remove that clear backing, I always like to go over any of my HTV vinyl again, just to make sure that it's firmly pressed down against the material. And then I can always tell because it'll take on sort of the texture of the material to make sure that it's properly adhered to it. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I have to be really mindful because of that texture on the front. If you press too hard when you're placing this HTV down, it'll ruin the texture on the faux leather and the finish. So it's really important just to make sure that you're using like medium to light pressure and then making sure that everything lines up. I'm going to just sandwich it between my parchment paper and repeat the process. Okay, I'm going to clean up my edges using my straight edge here from that HTV that was overhanging, and then once I have everything kind of cleaned up, I'm going to use about a 1-inch width to cut out the strap for the keychain. I could have used my Cricut to do this, but I felt like it's just a rectangle. It's pretty easy to do on this. Just make sure that I make a few passes to get a really clean look there. Okay, so I'm starting in Cricut Design Space to make my earring template. I'm going to go down and select from the Shapes tool the teardrop and then invert it. Then I'm going to go over to the Edit button so that I can customize the size of it. Hit the Unlock tool. I'm going to make it 2 inches in height and 1.3 inches in width. And I need to make the holes for the earrings. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shapes tool again, select the circle, and then edit it down to 0.01 inches. Now that I have that tiny circle, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it so I can make another. And then I'm just going to select both of these and then align them. It doesn't matter if you align them top or bottom, they just need to be aligned. And then I just want to adjust the spacing between them. So I'm going over to edit, and then I'm just, because I already have them aligned, I don't want to like actually touch them and move them around because I'm doing this on my phone. So I just use the H position and move them over till I like the spacing between them. Then I'm also going to change the color of them so that I can see it better when I use the slice tool. Just going to make them red for easeability. I also need to attach these so that I can use the slice tool. So I've selected them, gone to combine, I'm going to select weld, and that will make them one piece so that when I drag them over to my earrings, I'll be able to select the whole thing and then just hit the slice button. Now I have the holes cut out so that my jump rings will be able to fit through them to make the pinched earring look. I'm just duplicating another pair here. I also need to just get rid of those red dots because I don't need those anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make another copy. I'm going to contour this one so that it's just a solid shape because I'm going to resize it. And if I resize it, then the holes won't match up and I need them to match up. So I'm going to place it over top of the other one and then kind of move it to the size that I think looks the best, which is that size. Then select both of them and then use the slice tool. That's the only piece I'm going to keep. I'm going to go ahead and select those other pieces and then just delete all of them. And now I have a matching eye hole with two different sizes. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate these, and then they are going to be ready to make. I ran these through my Cricut cutting machine. I have a maker. I ran them through and I cut them twice. So I think it did a total of 4 passes. These ones came up just fine. And they look really cute. I'm very excited about these. But the black one, when I went to go pull up that, I thought it had cut all the way through, and then it hadn't cut all the way through. So, which I guess was nice because then I can show you how I fixed it. Yeah, as you can see, it like didn't cut through hardly at all, which is so weird. I must have not put more pressure on that. Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and use my craft knife, kind of start in one corner and then just gently encourage it to separate. And then I'll go back through and kind of clean it up with some scissors and stuff. But I'm just lightly going through where the cut line already is and then working on separating the pieces very gently because I don't want it to tear, and I want it to be like a clean look when it's finished, because otherwise I just have to go through and recut it out, and that's kind of just a pain. So if I can salvage it, I always try. Now that I've got it free, I'm going to take my scissors and just run it around the edges and kind of clip off anything that's sort of hanging and looks not very nice. Okay, ready for the assembly. It should look like this when we're finished. It's a pinched earring type. There's a lot of little intricate parts, but I'm going to do my best to explain how I got it to look like that. So I'm starting with this black piece of leather, and then the leopard print leather goes over the top of it. I'm going to use a bigger jump ring, and then just separate the jump ring. Usually I'll like kind of move it left to right, but I actually want this to be wide, like the wide part of it, if that makes sense, because it's got to go through both of those holes. So I'm just stretching it out basically with my jewelry pliers here. Now I'm gonna put it through the hole. I'm gonna put it through the hole furthest away from me, because I want where it connects to be in the front. So adding the leopard print leather to it, just like that. Now I'm going to take the jump ring and put it through the other two holes. If you can see that along the back side here. And then so where the jump ring connects to will be in the front, like I said. So now that that's through, I'm going to actually add a smaller jump ring to this before I close it up, because that's what the other jump ring and the earring is actually going to attach to. But you can see the backside of the jump ring there is like solid, and then this part is where it all connects to. So putting that smaller jump ring onto it, and then I'm going to close the larger jump ring together so that that little one is attached to it and the bigger one is completely closed. If you had thicker material or a smaller jump ring, you might want to leave it open a little bit in order to pull it over, but my material is just fine and this jump ring's the right size, so I feel really good about closing it. Okay, so now that that's closed and you can see that that jump ring is attached, it's time to pull over the backside of this jump ring over all of the leather to the front. I'm going to use my weeding tool here. I'm going to hook this over and then just kind of help it slide over all of that material. I just find this to be easier. I've tried to just do it with my fingers, but for whatever reason, this seems to work pretty well. And then, ta-da! We have a pinched earring, and that jump ring is now down inside of it. If you can kind of see it, it's like hanging out down below. It'll need to be pushed back up in order to get the other jump ring the other jump ring and the earring finding to attach to it. So I'm just trying to kind of get that up to where I can work with it. And that's what I mean about, like, sometimes if you have too much material here, you may want to leave that jump ring like open more and then close it later. It also might be helpful to use like an oval shape jump ring for these, but whatever. So I have my jump ring there, and then I have attached it through that other hole, and now I'm attaching the earring, which you can hardly see because I'm really good at filming things. I'm sorry. Okay. And now I'm just, obviously you can really tell what I'm doing here, but I'm just trying to close that up now because I've basically hooked it through that other jump ring and then added the earring part, and now I'm closing it. So if you can kind of see how the two pieces there kind of connect, and that's all there is to it. Got an earring. Making the keychain super easy. I've got my 1-inch piece here, my hardware, and a tool with a plastic tip on it to keep the hardware safe from scratches, basically. I'm going to load my hardware into my clamp tool and then line up my leather and place it inside. I just want to make sure that everything's lined up and that the leather isn't hanging out on either side. I'm going to obviously line this up where the teeth are. But I just want to make sure that it's not hanging out, because once you clamp this down, it is clamped down. There is no fixing it. And that can be really sad because you've worked so hard on this, right? So for the most part, it's really easy. I just lightly clamp and then make any adjustments that I need to, and then basically clamp it all the way. And then I'm going to move it up a little bit and just re-clamp, make sure that it's really nice and tight so it's not going to go anywhere. And that's it. It's all done. Okay, so here's the finished product. I absolutely love these pinched earrings. They are so cute, and I love that they can have a matching keychain to go with. It makes a great gift. Yeah, so if you like this tutorial, make sure to like my video and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.